Alright, so Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game just released, and you want to know how to play the family a bit better. I've been playing it a lot. I played it throughout the tech test, and I've been playing since day one, since it released. So I think I got a pretty good grasp on the family. I haven't leveled up, obviously, all the powers, all the abilities, all the skill trees. Haven't tested most of the perks in the game yet. But as someone who has sunk a lot of hours into the tech test and into the main game here, I think I got a pretty good idea of how the family plays. So starting with Leatherface, one of the main things you want to do with him is break all of the pallets that you got around the map. You can't even play a match without Leatherface on your team. You always need a Leatherface no matter what. That's how the game was designed. So obviously he is the strongest of all the killers in the game right now. And it was designed that way. So your job is to do the most damage with him, chase down people. You're the fastest, definitely the most aggressive. You also have the most agency to design the map around you, manipulating the map and chase routes by destroying the Leatherface barricades. You can destroy the little grates or tunnels that survivors and Sissy and Hitchhiker can pass through. Only thing you can't really interact with, or I mean you can thrust your chainsaw through these little cracks in the walls, but you can't do anything to stop those, which we'll get into in a moment. But yeah, if a Cook or Johnny is chasing someone and they run into one of those barricades, and then the survivor passes through a crack in the wall, I mean there's absolutely nothing they can do against those things. So it is up to you to destroy all those barricades if you ever see one. There is no point to ever keeping a single one of those up. So I'd say that is the biggest tip I can give as a Leatherface player, because not enough people are destroying those and it's making the rest of the family way harder to play. But at the very start of the match, you're going to want to instantly rev up your chainsaw, or you could play a bit stealthy, maybe don't rev it up right away, but usually you want to rev it up as soon as possible so you can start sprinting around the basement area. And basically the way to sprint is not just hold shift, that's just your normal sprint, but you want to hold right click, rev your chainsaw, or depending on if you're on console, it's probably like left trigger or something. Rev your chainsaw until it's about 80% up. Once you stick the chainsaw in the air and it starts hissing very loudly, that is when you just want to start tapping the rev and make sure it doesn't overheat, because then that'll stun you. But as you're revving it, you could just run super fast around the map. It's absolutely the best way to chase people as well. It'll hinder your hearing ability a lot because the chainsaw is so loud, but it'll also stress out all the other victims around you, which is nice. And you deal bonus damage when you attack with your chainsaw that is fully revved up in the air. The thing is though, that is not always a good thing to do. I have learned the hard way. You do not want to attack unless you're getting the final hit on someone with the chainsaw like that. At least most of the time. Basically, once you attack with a fully revved up chainsaw, you'll get stunned no matter what, and then you have to restart the chainsaw back up again. Now that rev attack does do massive damage to the victim, but you really only want to be stunned mid-chase if you're gonna fully kill them and go into an animation. So what you really want to do is chase them all the way up with your rev chainsaw, and then let the rev die down a bit, hit them with some normal attacks. 2 or 3 is probably good enough. If you know they're weak already, if you've seen them get hit multiple times beforehand, you could probably just hit them with 1 attack and then do a fully charged rev attack and finish them off. But yeah, I've done plenty of games killing 3, even 4 all the victims. Leatherface is brutal once you know how to use his chainsaw correctly. But yeah, don't do a ton of revved up attacks. It does not work out in the long run. And even while sprinting and revving your chainsaw fully, always watch your stamina bar as every killer, because once you run out and get stunned, it can be a very big pain for you. And to replenish your stamina bar, you don't need to stand still. You just need to stop holding shift, stop holding the sprint button, and as long as you're walking, you could even be in an animation going through a crawl tunnel or a ledge in the wall. As long as you're not holding shift down or swinging your weapon, you'll recover your stamina back up. Also, as Leatherface, the chainsaw makes a lot of noise, obviously, but if you press your middle mouse button, if you use your black and white family vision mode, where you can see blood bags through walls, you can see the exits, you can see the family members through walls. If you use that, it gives you enhanced hearing no matter what family member you're playing, and it quiets down the chainsaws, makes other victim voices, it makes their footsteps, their grunts of pain, everything. It makes it louder. It compresses all the audio right in the middle, so almost every sound in the game is the same level basically. But the chainsaw seems a lot quieter when you use it. So as much as you can, press the middle mouse button, go to black and white mode, and just listen around, and you usually find people even through walls very easily. So yeah, that's a big thing I don't see a lot of people doing right now, but it helps immensely, especially down in the basement at the start of the game. And again, that works on every single family member, but I find it especially good on Leatherface because you usually just have that chainsaw taking up all your audio and just hurting your ears the entire game. So that helps a lot. If you ever lose track of someone, just press that and you'll usually hear their footsteps through walls. But yeah, that's all for Leatherface for now. Let's go on to the cook. Now the cook is a very important role in this game, especially on a map like the gas station. If you know you're getting the gas station map, if you see at the bottom of the lobby starting screen that you're getting the gas station map, it is probably a good idea to get a cook on your team. There is a certain path near the starting generator near the front of the gas station where victims can just walk right up the basement stairs, unlocking that one basement door. Then they can walk right out up to the main entrance of the gas station and leave through that door by lockpicking it. So that's just 2 lockpick doors that they have to get through to exit the gas station. They can completely just avoid the generator that's blocking that one gate. This is the only map that has 5 exits, and it's pretty annoying. Like if you think about it, the house map and the slaughterhouse, the gates are both electrified. You got the cattle grid, but the gas station, you got the cattle grid, but then to the right of it, you just got a normal door to get through. So as a cook, you start with 3 locks, and you're going to want to lock those doors, the front of the gas station. Just remember that. So yeah, that is a very important map to have him on, because there's nothing else you can do about it with any of the other killers. Maybe Hitchhiker, you can put some bear traps down, but most of the time they're going to be able to disarm those and see those, and they're not going to buy you as much time as a lockpick would, or just a lock, not a lockpick. But yeah, other than gas station, of course, the cook is still very, very strong. As you play him a lot, you're going to really want to level up all the way to the right side of his ability skill tree, because you get the ability to mark survivors for your entire team when you hear them, which is super strong, and definitely the path I'm going to be going down as a solo player. Yeah, as a cook, there's usually some key doors you want to put locks on that don't already have locks on them. For example, the family house has 3 doors that lead to the outside. There's like one that a lot of people don't really see, don't notice. It's right past the family living room, right where the window room is. There's a door that leads out to the front deck. Not the main door. The main door is one, but then it's like basically to the left of it. Or if you're standing on the outside of the house, it's to the right of it. But yeah, you'd want to put a lock on both those 2 doors, the front door and the porch door. And then probably the back door as well that leads outside, because that's just a free door that has no lock, no anything on it. The only thing that does have a lock in the back is the gate. Or I guess I should maybe say the side of the house. I'm pretty sure it's the back of the house. The side of the house is where the ladder goes down. But yeah, basically stopping the survivors from getting out of the middle of the map into the outskirts is what you want to do as the cook. Just trap them in your own little spider web area and start listening and calling them out for your team. And if you don't know how to use his hearing ability, basically you just move your mouse or your control sticks, whatever, into the direction of where the audio spikes are coming from, and then you line it up, and it'll basically magnetize your cursor onto where the survivor is, and you just hold it there long enough, about like 3 to 4 seconds, and it'll mark the survivor for you. And for the victim, it also calls out that they are marked, so they know when they're getting marked, just as a heads up. But at the start of the game, when you're done placing locks, or when the survivors still aren't out of the basement yet, and sorry I keep calling them survivors and victims interchangeably, I'm just going to do that. Same with family members and killers. But yeah, when you're not placing locks, definitely go around collecting all the blood that you can. Don't feed grandpa when you just have a little bit of blood. Maybe at the start of the game, if you just pick up 1 thing of blood, then you can feed him if you know no one else has blood to feed him. And then you go around and collect the rest and fill up your blood vial. Most of the time you want to feed grandpa when you have enough blood to level him up, like a full vial, or else it's just going to waste time, put you in an animation, and then you're gonna have to do it all over again. But yeah, collect a lot of blood. Out of all the base characters without any attribute points, you got the 2nd best blood harvesting. Sissy has the best, and yeah, she is really good at it. Just collect all the blood you can, feed grandpa, wake him up early. Now the cook and Johnny both have abilities to close the little metal grates around the map, so that's always something good that you can do. Sometimes, honestly though, unlike Leatherface, you don't want to always close these, because once it's closed, Leatherface can't destroy them. So if you know Leatherface is nearby, you might as well just have him fully destroy the grates instead of you closing them and waiting for a victim to open it for you so that Leatherface can actually destroy it again. But it is really good for closing off routes. Just wanted to note that, yeah, he can't destroy them if you do close them. But yeah, it's almost never a bad time to close them. Don't want to discourage anyone from doing it. Stay around in the middle of the map. Sometimes I guess you can go down to the basement, but mostly staying up on level floor is good, because you can hear floors above you, you can hear floors below you, and you're not going to be wanting to run up and down the stairs of the basement chasing people. Down in the basement, it is rough as the cook. You're slow, at least as the base cook without any attribute points. You are slow. You can swing like 2 times in a chase and then you're done for. Now you do a lot of damage, which is nice. So remember, always watch your stamina. You never want to swing too much and run out of stamina. If you're below the little stamina line, don't even bother swinging. Just stop sprinting for a second. Let your stamina come back and then start swinging on them. No more than probably 3 swings max if you're just like the base line with no endurance. But yeah, the absolutely worst thing you can do when you do finally catch up to a survivor to be able to hit them is run out of stamina and start stunning yourself basically in animation. So as little as possible, try to not do that. Try to hold your stamina as much as you can. And if you see a hitchhiker or a sissy chasing a survivor, try to cut them off on a different route. If you chase directly behind them, I mean, they're going to be able to catch up to them. They're going to be able to stay behind them as much as possible. What you want to do is meet them somewhere else. Try to get in front of them somehow, cut them off on a different angle if you are down in the basement or wherever you are. Okay, on to the hitchhiker. This one's going to be pretty quick. Yeah, I mean, his ability is pretty basic. It's just 3 bear traps. Probably some of the best places you can trap are the top of ladders, because once a survivor is at the top or midway of the ladder, they can no longer press a button to just fully drop down and take some damage. They are stuck in animation. They are crawling up that ladder and getting to the top no matter what. If Grandpa screams while they're on the ladder, I mean, they're done for. They're getting revealed for sure. And if they are midway on the ladder and fully going up to the top in the animation, they will step on your bear trap if it's at the top of the ladder. So ladders are absolutely the best place to put bear traps if you want to catch survivors. Other great places are the generator and the car battery. Remember, as always, if you spawn next to the car battery at the start of the match, just turn it on. You never need to turn on the generator. It starts on now, but the car battery needs to be turned on. So if you spawn next to it, do that. That is your first objective. And if someone else is spawning next to it, or if you're unsure, press the middle mouse button at the start of the game, go into black and white mode, check if someone spawned near it and if they're turning it on or not. Or just ask your team, ask in chat or something. But yeah, that is your main objective when you first start the match as any character, except Leatherface, obviously. But yeah, luckily as the hitchhiker, you can go under grates just like Sissy. You can go through cracks in the wall as well. The only thing stopping you is Leatherface barricades. So hopefully you got a good Leatherface on your team that is breaking all of those for you. Yeah, most of the time, just the best places for traps are when survivors have to go through animations. So at the end of cracks in the wall, grates, not so much. It's pretty easy to see through those and see that you're gonna step in a trap if you go through it. So the grates aren't as good for traps, but the cracks in the wall are amazing. They just go straight through them. They can't turn back. They can't do anything. They are forced to step in that trap and you're going to catch them. Ladders and cracks in the walls are absolutely the best. But for time delay sake, trapping the generator and the car battery is also very good. But yeah, as a hitchhiker, you're going to be able to catch the survivors pretty easily. You're going to be able to follow them, tail them, and chase them through everything except the barricades, obviously. So when you are in a chase with one, just keep your stamina, as I've been saying throughout the video. That's the most important thing. Keep an eye on the stamina bar. If you get below the main line, just stop sprinting for a bit. You don't need to stand still. You don't need to do anything. Just stop sprinting. Even if you have high endurance and it starts recharging very quickly, you could just pass through a crack in the wall, pass through a crevice, pass through a grate, and it'll start going back as you're in that animation, which is very nice. And once you're finally in contact with a victim, swing away, but watch your stamina again. Don't swing too much. And if you're tailing right behind a victim, beware of the doors. Just stand back a bit. Don't follow them so close up where they're going to slam a door in your face. They usually will just click the button and slam doors behind them as they run. So just stay far enough back where the doors won't hit you and stun you. The victims do have a perk that can stun you for 16 whole seconds. So be aware of that. And just a thing for all family members, if you kill a victim, make sure to always go to Grandpa. You're usually going to have a full blood vial by the time you kill someone. Actually, I think it's like guaranteed. Grandpa will glow yellow for you. You'll be able to see him through walls. Go up to him, give him the blood, then continue on with the chases. Unless obviously you already know where people are, then maybe don't do that. But if you have nothing else to do after killing a victim, no other trail, no other lead, go to Grandpa. Level him up. Get your Grandpa perks. If everyone does this in the match, you're going to get a level 5 Grandpa in no time and have wall hacks the entire game. So that's nice. And remember, as everyone that isn't Leatherface, you have bonus entrances into the basement using both the ladders. So remember that. And I mean, I use the ladders a ton. So just make sure you're doing that because they do get you into the basement pretty quickly and sometimes surprise people. Also, if you ever walk up to a ladder and it's glowing red, like you can't use it, that means a victim is coming up. It's happened plenty of times to me. The ladder is glowing red, can't use it. It takes a while, but they eventually do come up because they are in animation going up the ladder. That is a perfect time to either place a trap while they're stuck in animation, blow some poison on them as Sissy, or just crouch and wait. And yes, as Hitchhiker and Sissy, you can crouch. So hiding in bushes, sometimes a good idea. But yeah, on to Johnny now, the Mr. X of this game. His boots stomping around the map are terrifying. But yeah, Johnny is a powerhouse, absolute mad lad. If you ever find a victim in the game, I mean, you're gonna probably be tailing them the entire match. Now with his base ability, you have to get in a very, very close proximity to a footstep. But once you do find one, you just easily hold the button down, investigate it, and this little stink trail plus footprints will be marked on the ground for you to follow. You got to follow pretty close to it. You can't like eye it from far away as you trail it. You got to be like right on top of it. Yeah, it'll always lead you straight to the victim. The only thing that can really get in your way as Johnny is, again, the cracks in the walls and the grates. If someone passes through those, I mean, you can't follow them through it, so you kind of got to find your way around. But once you are on the other side, the trail will continue and you can keep following them. Now, since you can't go through cracks in the walls, you can't go over the Leatherface barricades, you can't go under grates, there are plenty of times as him and the cook where you'll just be completely stuck in an infinite. These are the two characters where you need other family members to help out. It really benefits to have a good Leatherface on your team to destroy those barricades, because there are infinites in the game where the survivor can just stand still. A standstill infinite. Those are actual things. And I have clips of them. I don't know if I'll be able to find them. I have so many clips of this game. But yeah, there are places in the match where a victim can just stand still in between a Leatherface barricade and a crack in the wall, and you can't reach them. You're just staring at them, typing in chat for your team to come down there, but they can't hear you. They don't care enough. Maybe you're screaming at them in voice chat. It might not do anything. Hopefully you got good teammates. So yeah, while he is very good at finding survivors, you're going to need, again, as the family, to work together as a team to actually get the victims down on the ground. But away from those things, away from the basement area, away from Leatherface barricades that are unbroken, he is very strong and can usually down most people in 3 to 4 hits. And a little tip for all family members: if a victim goes into an animation going into a crack in the wall or a grate, don't swing. Like, never swing, basically. They get iframes almost right away. You can basically never hit them once they start going into animation. There's maybe a like 0.2 seconds where you can. It was different in the tech test. I feel like I can maybe hit them like 1 or 2 times, but now it's like never. And it's weird because they decrease the amount of iframes the victims have, but it feels worse in the main game. It feels like maybe there's just no damage feedback, but yeah, basically never swing when they start going in animation. You got like no time to do it, and then you're gonna just take longer to go through the cracks in the wall. At least if you're playing as Hitchhiker and Sissy, when you can go through the cracks in the wall. Maybe as Johnny and Leatherface, it's worth trying a swing, but most of the time it's not, and you should just go around. Since you do have a third-person camera, you can sometimes mind game them, go around on the other side, and they'll start backtracking back into the crack, and you quickly run to the other side and hit them. But there are a lot of times in the game where you can't do that, and you're just in a complete infinite until a teammate gets down there. So yeah, Cook and him are very good at locating people, but the chase potential isn't really there because of all the obstacles in your way. It is really up to Leatherface to deny those obstacles for you. But let's talk about starting as Johnny at the beginning of the game. A lot of people don't know what to do because you don't have locks to place on doors, you don't have bear traps to place, you have nothing to set up. All you can really do is turn on the car battery if you spawn near it, and then start collecting blood for Grandpa. You can't collect a lot, but upgrading blood harvesting on Johnny makes him a lot better at the beginning of the game. But yeah, if you can get Grandpa awake early, you can get down to the basement and start hunting them down there, because it is great. As long as Leatherface is down there with you to help out, locating people for him, locating people for your team, chasing them down, I mean, it's guaranteed that you're gonna find them. There's footsteps all over the basement. So the earlier a Johnny can get down into the basement, the better. Now, surprisingly, as victim, and I haven't watched enough streams or anything to know this, I've never been hunted by a Johnny, or at least I don't think I have. So I don't think it tells you that Johnny is hunting you when you play as victim. Maybe it should, maybe it shouldn't. It tells you when the cook hears you. So maybe it should tell you about Johnny. I think it probably would. I just have never had it happen to me or seen it in a video or anything, but be aware that maybe it might tell the victims. Maybe people in the comments can tell me if it does or doesn't. And when I ask that, I mean just one person, please. Not like 10 people telling me. There's always so many times where people don't read if the comment has already been said. But usually it seems like I surprise people a lot when I'm playing Johnny and I footstep track them. They have no idea. So maybe the game doesn't warn them. That's my guess. On to my main family character that I play as, Sissy. She is very, very good. Highest blood harvesting in the game. She's got pretty great stamina. Sometimes you have to hit people a lot. If it's like an Anna using her ability, you got to do like 15 hits on them. Kind of nuts. But most of the time, you don't have to do that. And I've been using a perk that applies bleed every hit, so that's been very helpful. Yeah, Sissy's poison is very, very good. I don't apply it on too many objects, but there is a perk I'm using that makes it so when I do apply it on objects, there's a chance that it doesn't use up one of my powders. But yeah, basically Sissy will have different tables around the map where you can regenerate her ability. So you start with 3 little poison clouds in your inventory. Once you use one or apply it onto a health pack or apply it onto a fuse, a valve, whatever you apply it onto, it'll waste one. You'll have to go up to one of your refill stations and start crafting a new poison. I'm pretty sure there's always 3 stations around the map. Almost always one in the front of the map, like near the generator, one in the back near the car battery, and one in the middle. Maybe there's 4 though, actually, because there's usually also one in the basement a lot of the time. Sometimes even one upstairs. I don't really know. There might be 4 to 5 of them. I haven't counted myself. Maybe I should go into a match and count really quickly. But basically, you just middle click, go to black and white mode, and you'll see them through walls. Some of the stations have 2 flowers at them where you can refill your poison twice. Most of the time, the ones in the middle of the map, the stations in the middle, have only 1. But yeah, running through a billion doors to get to the edges of the map to go refill your poison is pretty annoying, but usually worth it because the poison is super strong and easy to use as well. Mid chase, you can use it to block off generators, use it to block off ladders and basement exits for a while. It's a pretty nice utility tool that can block multiple areas at once. Sissy's poison cloud and poisoning items will slow victims down, make it harder for them to see, and will reveal them to everyone on the map, or at least for you it does. It's like a red outline. I'm pretty sure it reveals it to everyone because most of the time when I do poison someone, Leatherface comes around the corner and starts destroying them as well. So it is very good for all of that, and then it has upgrades that do even more bonus effects. But yeah, back to how she is so good at blood harvesting. At the start of the game, just turn on the car battery if you're near it, then start feeding Grandpa, because within about 5 minutes, if you got maxed out blood harvesting with her, Grandpa can become level 5 and get wall hacks super easily, especially if you have other teammates that slow down the game like the cook and also feed Grandpa a ton of blood. One of the main things I like to do as her is instantly feed Grandpa and then get down to the basement as quick as possible, blocking one of the exits with a poison cloud maybe. And as you chase people, if they go through a crack in the wall, if they go through any type of animation, you blow poison onto them and reveal them to everyone, slow them down a bit. Then you can easily catch up and start swinging away at them. Usually it'll take around 5 to 6 hits to down them if your savagery isn't very high. And again, if your endurance is higher, while you pass through walls chasing them, pass through the cracks, your stamina will be regenerating during that animation. So it is very easy to catch them because they're slowed by the poison. And yeah, you start destroying people super fast as her. She might be one of the most oppressive chasers in the game. Actually, I think, yeah, she probably is. Besides Leatherface, obviously. He's just the best at everything, except blood harvesting. But yeah, as soon as you get it down, go straight to Grandpa. You'll probably have like 140 or 150 in your blood vial. Just give it all to Grandpa. Level him up 2 levels in one go pretty easily. And a tip for every family member: once you level up Grandpa with a blood vial, he will scream and he'll go on cooldown for about 15 to 20 seconds where no one can feed Grandpa. He's no longer hungry. So just be aware of that. A lot of people sometimes just sit around him and wait for him to come back. But you could, during that time, if you see someone feeding him when he's close to a level up, just go collect more blood if you don't have your vial full already, because he's going to be on a pretty massive cooldown and you're just going to be wasting time standing right next to him. But yeah, you can also chain sonar screams with him. So if he just let out a scream and you know you're about to level him up with another blood vial, you can feed him that and he'll guarantee you another scream right when he levels up. So he screams and then feed him blood, screams again. Basically 2 screams within the same like 5 seconds, and it could definitely slow down the victims a lot, especially if they're in chase. They're going to get revealed. Just a random family tip to throw out there as well: stop opening doors and locking them behind you straight away if a teammate is following you. The amount of times I've been following someone when they open a basement door, and right as I get to the door, they just shut it in my face. And then even then, they still don't notice that I'm trying to get through that door. So then they lock it as well. And then you have to go through the whole animation of opening it and then closing it behind you as you walk through and locking it. It's just awkward. It's just annoying. So if you know a teammate's following you, or if you're just going through a door that you know you're going to lock behind you, just check. Do a quick turn of the mouse. Check, is any other person following you? Do they want to get through the door as well? Because it is just common courtesy. Hold the door open for them a little bit. Jeez, guys. But yeah, those are my main tips for playing the family in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This game is so much fun right now. Besides my one little rant video on what I would like changed with the game, which is just that one mechanic that a lot of people are agreeing on that is kind of lame. That is my only gripe with it. The rest of the game, it has been so much fun. I've been playing a ton offline and recording clips and videos for you guys. But yeah, anyways, I'm enjoying my time. I'm gonna go play more right after editing this, and hopefully this video helps you out. If it does, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and more Texas Chainsaw to come in the future. Kind of want this to be my main game on the channel, along with maybe Dead by Daylight as well. And let me know in the comment section if you want to see a victim guide as well. Haven't played too much victim since the launch of the game. I've been fully focused on family, but there's some pretty crazy perks, pretty crazy things you could do with them, it looks like. So yeah, might make some videos on them soon. But yeah, that's all for today. I'll see you guys all in the next video very, very soon.